Sam Altman just said the quiet part out loud. The guy running OpenAI literally acknowledged we might be living through another tech bubble. His exact take? Smart people go overboard when they spot something real. Translation: brilliant minds are currently losing it over AI, and he's watching it happen in real time. He even drew parallels to the dot-com crash. You know, that beautiful disaster where the Nasdaq tanked nearly 80%. Investors realized most internet startups were basically fancy slide decks with cute logos. Here's the uncomfortable truth. He's probably onto something. The valuation explosion. Look at what's happened to markets lately. Over 5 years, US stocks have basically doubled. Why? 10 massive corporations keep promising AI will revolutionize absolutely everything. Altman himself has secured billions in funding. He's casually discussing spending trillions on data infrastructure. Trillions. That's not business planning, that's planetary scale ambition. But here's what nobody's really asking. If this turns out to be a bubble, what exactly did we purchase? This gets fascinating. Most headlines scream about the AI revolution, but they're not actually measuring value creation. They're just tracking how much certain stock prices jumped. That's like rating a restaurant based on how expensive their silverware is. Completely backwards. And if you're finding this breakdown useful, hit that subscribe button. We're about to dig into the real numbers behind this AI frenzy. The market value illusion. When company valuations surge by hundreds of billions, here's what people miss. That money didn't materialize from thin air. It just means recent buyers paid more than previous ones. Simple as that. Think about it this way. If someone pays $10 for a single banana, that doesn't suddenly make every banana on Earth worth $10. It means one person is about to make the world's most expensive smoothie and probably regret their life choices. So if we want to determine whether we're in bubble territory, we need to stop obsessing over stock tickers. We need to count tangible assets, the actual capital invested, the semiconductor chips, the electrical power, the human resources. Because if you incinerate trillions of dollars and end up with a marginally better email composer, that's not transformation. That's spell check with an obscenely expensive marketing budget. The real spending. Let's examine what's actually being built here. Because this isn't running on optimism and wishful thinking. It's running on metal, electricity, and invoices that would make your eyes water. 4 companies alone dropped roughly $344 billion on AI infrastructure throughout 2024. Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft. That represents over 1% of America's entire GDP. Think about that scale while autocorrect still mangles your name. Those are just the public figures. OpenAI operates privately, so their books stay hidden. But they've raised $40 billion. They arranged another $6 billion in secondary shares. And Altman's talking about spending trillions on future data centers. China's state-backed firms reportedly invested another $500 billion on their AI build-out. Factor in global chip purchases from NVIDIA and AMD. The rest of the world probably matched that. We've already crossed the trillion-dollar threshold on hardware alone. That's before counting electricity, personnel, or operations. The power crisis. Right now, data centers consume approximately 1.5% of global electricity. The International Energy Agency projects that could double by 2030. If AI expansion continues at this pace, we might literally run short on electricity because chatbots need to generate poems about avocados. America's electrical grid is especially unprepared. Most infrastructure dates to the 1960s and 70s, operating with merely 15% reserve capacity. Meanwhile, China built their grid recently and runs at 100% reserve, meaning they can plug in millions more GPUs without triggering regional blackouts. This strain already shows up in your bills. US electricity costs nearly doubled over 3 years, partly from this AI build-out affecting every sector, not just technology. When your grocery costs rise, part of that might actually stem from your neighbor using an LLM to write their wedding vows. Goldman Sachs analysts say substantial new power capacity in major US markets won't activate until 2028. Data center vacancy rates already dropped below 3%. The AI boom is literally hitting infrastructure limits. There's nowhere left to plug everything in. If this analysis is clicking for you, smash that like button. Help us reach more people who need to understand what's actually happening with AI investment. The returns problem. A recent MIT study called the Gen AI Divide discovered something stunning. 95% of companies using generative AI saw zero return on investment. Not disappointing returns, but zero. These tools look incredible in demonstrations, but the moment they enter actual workflows, they collapse like cheap furniture in a windstorm. The few companies seeing real results aren't trying to automate everything. They identify one mundane but valuable task, like back-office paperwork, and quietly accelerate it. Everyone else builds half-finished co-pilots for everything and wonders why nothing functions properly. The technology itself keeps stumbling. MITRE researchers found that large language models handle short tasks adequately, but completely fail on longer ones. Even coding, supposedly AI's strongest application, produces more bugs and security vulnerabilities. Teams are literally hiring people to fix AI-generated code, which is hilarious because that was supposedly the job AI would eliminate. Then there's the stability issue. These platforms evolve so rapidly, they break their own ecosystems. When OpenAI released GPT-5, it quietly discontinued support for custom GPTs and destroyed numerous developer tools overnight. Imagine if Python randomly deleted half its standard library one morning. That's the foundation people are building on right now. The FOMO factor. If the technology isn't ready, why do companies keep throwing billions at it? Simple answer, nobody wants to be the one who missed the future. Every major corporation watched competitors add AI powered to something and immediately get a stock bump. So everyone panicked and followed suit. Budgets got rewritten, teams got rebranded, and CEOs started inserting AI strategy into every sentence just to keep investors calm. It's less about actual results and more about not looking like the dinosaur at the robot party. This isn't new behavior. During the dot-com bubble, companies added .com to their names and instantly doubled their valuations. Altman described it perfectly. This is a bubble built around genuine truth. The internet was real, but most .com companies weren't. AI is real, but most current AI companies probably aren't either. Meanwhile, workers, especially junior ones, got convinced they couldn't find employment because AI took all the jobs. Reality? Hiring crashed because the post-COVID pandemic hiring bubble finally burst. It wasn't robots replacing them. Companies just realized they accidentally hired 5 front-end teams during lockdown. You've got this strange mixture of fear and ego pushing everyone to keep spending, even as returns flatline. That's basically how every bubble operates. It's not logic holding it up. It's pride. The private market amplifier. In places like Silicon Valley, investors don't actually need working products to invest millions. Just a compelling narrative. Right now, building the future with AI is basically the cheat code for fundraising. Coastal venture capitalists are calling this the largest private tech bubble ever, which is impressive, considering these are the same people who once funded a $400 million juicer company. Private markets let bubbles inflate faster because there's no daily stock price exposing how unstable things are. A company can raise billions, burn through it. And as long as the next funding round comes in at a higher valuation, everyone pretends everything's great. Most of the stock market's AI optimism concentrates in roughly 10 mega-cap firms: Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta. They've committed so much capital to AI that even Goldman Sachs expects spending to slow soon. When it does, the hype driving their stock prices probably goes with it. The aftermath. Bubbles don't obliterate everything. Most of it pops, absolutely. But some pieces survive and become the foundation for what comes next. After the dot-com bubble, thousands of startups vanished. But Google, Amazon, and eBay emerged from the wreckage and built the internet we use today. The same pattern will repeat here. Most flashy AI startups will disappear. The survivors will be the boring ones quietly manufacturing chips, building data centers, and upgrading power grids. So yes, the AI bubble will pop, but the technology won't die. It'll just get quieter and more useful. The hype will fade, the valuations will correct, and what remains will actually work. The question isn't whether AI is real. It absolutely is. The question is whether current valuations match current capabilities. And based on everything we've examined today, that answer seems increasingly clear. Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you got value from this analysis, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive. And drop a comment below. Do you think we're in an AI bubble, or is this different?